Soccer fans, Pioneer men's varsity soccer is live and on the air. We are live at Hollway Field where it is Pioneer men's varsity soccer taking on the Monroe Trojans. Big SEC red matchup. Currently, the two teams, Pioneer is 4-1-2. 4 wins, 1 loss, 2 draws. They started off with a draw versus Woodhaven. They had a 2-0 win versus Sylvania Northville. They had a 0-0 draw versus Skyline. They beat Dexter 5-1. They had a 1-0 win over Huron. That was back on Saturday the 27th. They lost. Their one loss was to Saline. That was 6-4. And then they had a 1-0 win over Lincoln. That was away at Lincoln back on the 1st. Taking a look at Monroe. Monroe is 2 wins, 3 losses, 2 draws. They start off with an 8-0 win at Adrian. Then they dropped 3-0 to Saline. They dropped 2-0 to Huron. They had a 2-0 win over Grosse Pointe. Then they dropped a 4-3 game versus Riverview. They then tied Bedford 2-2, and they had a 2-2 draw versus Dexter. So taking a look at it, up at the top of the SEC red, it is Saline within the SEC play. 4 wins, no losses, no ties for 12 points. Number 2 is Huron. They have 3 wins, no losses, and 1 tie. That's 10 points. This according to the SEC website. So obviously that 1 win, Pioneer 1-0 over Huron, that was officially not a SEC game. Then next is Pioneer. Pioneer's in the 3rd spot. They have in the SEC 2 wins, 1 loss, 1 draw for 7 points. So 3 points behind Huron and 5 points behind Saline. Dexter comes in next with 1 win, 1 loss, 2 draws for 5 points. Skyline has 1 win, 2 losses, and a draw for 4 points. Next is Monroe. Monroe is coming in at the number 6 spot in the SEC red. No wins, 2 losses, 2 draws for 2 points. Bedford is at the number 7 spot. No wins, 2 losses, 1 draw for 1 point. And Lincoln has no wins, 3 losses, and no draws for 0 points. So that is where we have the SEC red standing. Taking a look at the white division, Pinckney is in the lead with 6 points. Chelsea has 3 points, same with Tecumseh, and no points for Adrian, Jackson, or Ypsilanti. Taking a look at the next upcoming 5 games for Pioneer Soccer. They have the game today versus Monroe. Then they are away for 2 games at Bedford on the 8th. That will be a 7 p.m. game. Then they are at, on Saturday the 10th, they have a 1:30 game over at Rockford, over on the other side of the state. They then host Skyline. Next time they'll be here at Hollway Field will be on the 13th of September. That will be a 7 p.m. game versus Skyline here at Hollway Field. And then the 5th game out is away at Troy. That is on the 15th of September. That is a 7 p.m. game. Taking a look at the next couple for Monroe, they are going to be hosting Lincoln. That will be a 5:30 game on the 8th. Then they are away at Skyline, time to be announced, away at Saline. That is going to be a 7 p.m. game on the 13th, and they are away at Huron. It's a 7 p.m. game on the 20th. Then they are home versus Bedford on the 22nd. As we'll kick things over to John, our wonderful public address announcer, who is welcoming everyone to the stadium.
First for Monroe. Number 2, Manuel Diaz. Number 3, Giovanni Gallegos Jimenez. Number 4, Nicholas Lito. Number 5, Nicholas Braden. Number 6, Helen Swinke. Number 7, Daniel Pressa. Number 8, Trevor Mann. Number 9, Bryson Lane. Number 10, Ashton Walker. Number 11, Lucas Zeppa. Number 12, Logan James. Number 14, Austin Dunn. Number 17, Matthew Wren. Number 19, Nicholas Herringhausen. Number 21, Brian Connor Jr. Number 23, Ethan Merkel. And number 24, Alexander Gowell. The head coach of Monroe, Ian Cook, assisted by Robert Anderson. Oh yeah, now here are your pioneers. First, our goalkeepers. Number 0, Ryan Queen. Number 1, Zach Wilhelm. And number 99, Cole Pera. Number 2, Adonis Anderson. Number 5, Josh Jacob. Number 6, Rafa Carrillo. Number 8, Lucas Anderson. Number 9, Jack Van Ryn. Number 10, Isaac Chaknowski. Number 12, Elin Seinfeld-Chuck. Number 13, Lucas Strickler. Number 14, Santi Fiori. Number 13, Jack Templeton. Number 16, Lucas Medina. Number 17, Diego Rivera. Number 18, Tyler Wilkins. Number 19, Micah Jacobson. Number 20, Alex Crichton. Number 22, Brendan Moore. Number 23, it's Felix Starosa. Number 27, Carter Kerbalay. Number 30, Abdu Kaba. The head coach of Pioneer, John Sunderman, assisted by Andy Irvine. The third team on the field tonight, the officials. The assistant referees are Dean York and Brian Bieber. And the woman in the middle, the referee, Aaliyah Frederick. Ladies and gentlemen, we ask that you rise now for the playing of the national anthem.
As we are getting ready to go, Pioneer in their purple kits with the numbers in white on the back, lighter purple on the shoulders, purple socks, and purple shorts. Over to Bedford, they are in their all-white kits with the numbers in red on the back. So white tops, white shorts, white socks, and the number small in the front. Pioneer looking for 3 big points in the SEC red, trying to climb up and with an opportunity to try and get in tie Huron for the number 2 spot. They're just 3 points behind Huron. Monroe down in the number 6 spot looking to put a couple good games together and make some things happen. Right at the center circle is Palmer, set to get going. Monroe starts things off as that comes back. Grabbing it, moving ahead is Pressa. Pressa sends it all the way down into the attacking third. Coming down on the far wing, bringing that ahead is Dunn. Dunn coming, that tick back all the way towards the back of the attacking third. Back into the middle third on the far wing, that's Mann bringing it ahead. Over to Swinky. Swinky moves back over, sends it back to the center circle. That launched high. Coming in and grabbed by Wilhelm. Wilhelm with it just inside the 18. 30 seconds gone in the game. Wilhelm puts his foot into it as that bounces. Picked up coming down the far side of the pitch. Templeton trying to peel that away as Monroe sends it ahead. That goes out the far touchline. That'll be Palmer looking for a throw-in on that far touchline. Nope. We'll have James with the throw-in. James sends it in from the far touchline. Ball on the far side of the pitch as Strickler tries to pull it away. That grabbed. Moved back over by Dunn, but that will be a restart for Pioneer. As Jacob has it set just inside of the defensive third. Jacob moves it over. Here comes Jacobson. Jacobson right at the blockades. That knocked away. Palmer coming the other direction. That pulled by Medina. Medina fires it ahead. Monroe picks it up just on the edge of their defensive third. Puts it high in the air down towards the Pioneer 18. That moved over to Wilhelm, who pops it up in the air. Puts it down on the far wing. Jacob with it there. Jacob brings it ahead on the far touchline over to Jacobson. Jacobson gets it over to Templeton. Templeton trying to move it back over. Gets it to Jacob. Jacob skies it ahead. That to Strickler. Strickler moving it over to Jacobson. Jacobson trying to get out of his own defensive third. That over to Rivera, who sends it ahead. Pulling it down. And sent on the far wing, trying to pull it over. There's a shot by Seinfeld Chop that goes wide, just a couple feet to the near side. That will result in a goal kick for Merkel. Merkel rolls it into the 18, as that is going to be Diaz. Kicking it just from the edge of the 6. Diaz raises his hand. Puts it up high as that heads towards the center circle. Coming over to get it is Jacob for Pioneer. Jacob moves it over to Templeton. Templeton trying to get away from Swinky. Pioneer controls it on the far side of the pitch. Over to Jacobson. Jacobson brings it towards the center of the pitch. Now that moved over by Chuknowski. Chuknowski over. That shot by Rivera, and just getting his hands on it was Merkel, tipping it away. That will go out. That will result in the first set piece of the game. A corner for Pioneer. Out racing over to get it is Seinfeld Chop. Seinfeld Chop has it for the corner. Raises both hands. Now puts it into the 18. That knocked down, fired the other direction by Pressa. Pressa puts it net out. Sent in by Pioneer. Trying to chip it back. Moved ahead by Monroe. Templeton takes it. Templeton coming down the far side of the pitch. Now moves it over to Chuknowski. Chuknowski trying to move it over to Strickler. Strickler has that knocked away by Dunn for Monroe. Now bringing it back. Rivera firing it over, but that intercepted. Good job by the Monroe defense. Pioneer tries to set things up. Strickler gets it over to Chuknowski. Chuknowski launches it, trying to get it into the 18. That headed up high. Strickler with a head, and that just goes wide by a few inches to the far side of the woodwork. Diaz again to kick it away from the 6 for Monroe. Pioneer with some good early pressure. 35-29 left to go here in the first half. Diaz sends it right to the center line. Popped up by Jacob. Pioneer trying to control, trying to battle that. Pulled away by Monroe. Coming down the near side is Swinky. Swinky Gets it over to Walker. Walker into the near corner. Jacob trying to dispossess him. That will stay. Monroe with the throw-in. As firing it over, Walker with the throw-in. That tipped over to Rivera. Rivera trying to bring it up the near side of the pitch for Pioneers. Strickler moves it over to the far side of the pitch. That picked up by Templeton. Templeton launches it forward. That volleyed the other direction by Monroe. Battle for it right on the far touchline. Templeton was over there with Janes. That will be a restart for Monroe as Zeppa has it set just on the other side of the center line, just on Monroe's side of the center line. Zeppa raises both hands. He puts it high in the air. That'll land into the 18 and go out the end line. And to the far side of the goal, Wilhelm has it. Wilhelm for Pioneer gets it set on the 6. As he steps back just shy of his own goal line. Wilhelm waiting for everyone to get set. Now kicks it away. That arcs towards the center line, taking it down the far side. Strickler gets it ahead as that's launched all the way down, trying to get it. Rivera trying to get into the 18. That grab, Diaz moves it right over to Merkel, who has it in the 18. 33:28 left to go here in the first as Gallegos Jimenez has it right at the center line, sends it back to his defensive pairing. That popped up high. Trying to get it Van Ryan. Van Ryan moves it down the near side of the pitch. That'll go out. As that will be a throw-in for Monroe. As Lieto with it, or excuse me, that's going to be done with the throw-in. Done. Launches it up high. That headed away by Chuknowski. Now Pioneer trying to get it out of the defensive third. Controlled back by Monroe as they have it, bringing it from the center third in. Mann puts it on the near side of the pitch. He has a cross that goes all the way over on the far side of the pitch, trying to pull it away. Seinfeld chop sends it ahead, but that goes out the far touchline. Mann with the throw-in. Mann sends it down the far wing. That tipped out. That will be Pioneer with the throw-in now. Jacob. Now tosses it ahead as that's tipped down, pulled away. Here comes Pioneer racing down the far side of the pitch. Diaz steals it away from Monroe and launches it the other direction. Fantastic job by Kerbaway, launching it ahead and just able to steal it. Monroe. Monroe takes it away again, feeds it down the pitch. Here comes Jacob the other direction for Pioneer. Jacob over the center line. Jacob puts it down on the far touchline, bringing it just on the edge of the attacking third is Seinfeld chop. Seinfeld chop launches it onto the near wing. Here comes Rivera. Rivera gets it into the edge of the 18, crossing over, trying to get to Kerbaway. That launched out of the 18 by Pressa. Now Monroe trying to start a counterattack. Jacob trying to get in. That launched all the way down by Wilhelm. Headed back the other direction by Swinky. As Templeton trying to grab it. And pulled away down the near side of the pitch, picking it up, coming that direction is Walker. Walker comes into the 18, centering it with a cross. That knocked away. Good job by Van Ryan. Now Chuknowski ahead to Rivera. Rivera down the near wing. That gets knocked down. Zeppa tries to launch it the other direction, but Rivera puts it deep. Here comes Kerbaway. Kerbaway getting it just on the end line. Kerbaway into the 18. Kerbaway with a cross. That knocked away by Monroe's defense, but right over to Chuknowski. Chuknowski trying to get to Seinfeld chop. There's a shot by Rivera. That goes high. It goes over the crossbar, over the field goal post crossbar even. Now will result in a goal kick. Diaz gets it set at the 6. 30 minutes, 22 seconds left to go here before halftime. 0-0 is the score here at Hollway Field. Beautiful day. Daytime temperature 73 degrees. Some dark clouds out there. So far, the Weather Service has not said we'll get some precipitation, so we will keep our fingers crossed. I'll try and speak English as well. That'll be lovely. That goes out the far side of the pitch. Man, over with the throw-in off the far touchline. Man tosses it down that far touchline, trying to get it over to the center line. That knocked away by Jacobson, but right out the far touchline, there'll be another throw-in. Headed up high by Monroe. Now Templeton sends it back. Bicycle kick going the other direction. That picked up. Here comes Palmer. Now lifted. Pioneer racing over to get it down the near touchline. Here comes Rivera. Rivera trying to get to the middle of the pitch. Rivera into the attacking 18 and over to Kerbaway and deflected. That'll go out. The end line, that'll be a corner for Pioneer. That is going to be Chuknowski. Chuknowski gets it set for the corner. Another set piece here for Pioneer. Looking to cash in that high arcing. Headed forward, then headed back the other direction by Monroe. At right and grab by Merkel. Good job by Merkel to get it because Pioneer was crashing down. Van Ryan was right there for the loose ball. Merkel would not oblige. Right at the center line, getting it over to Strickler. Strickler in a battle, trying to pull that down. Ball loose. Pioneer sends it ahead. The ball, Kerbaway, trying to feed it down the far touchline. That picked back up. Back over to Templeton. Templeton moves it over Seinfeld Shop. That is going to be out and go Monroe's way. Monroe with the throw-in. Scoreless so far as we approach the 28-minute mark before halftime. Van Ryan has it, bringing it over the center line. Van Ryan feeds it ahead. Now Strickler has it popped away. Kerbaway brings it back, puts it on the far wing for Templeton. Templeton ahead to Seinfeld Shop, trying to avoid pressure down there by Janes. That ball lifted back just shy of the center line. Launched now ahead by Pioneer, then popped up high in the air by Pressa. Battle for it on the far side. Swing key right on the far touchline as that's knocked down. Out the far touchline right around 30-yard line there. Popped up high by Chuknowski. Fed ahead. Here comes Seinfeld Chop. Seinfeld Chop with the cross. That launched all the way over to Rivera on the near wing. Rivera comes towards the center of the pitch. Rivera launches it into the 18. Found a space in the 18, but the Pioneer offense not able to cut over and take advantage of it. That'll be a kick from the 6 by Monroe. Diaz has it set. Everybody else heads up the pitch. Diaz raises his hands. Low line drive kick. That bounces right at the center line. Popped up high in the air by Jacob. Now Templeton trying to move it away. That out the far touchline. That is going to be Monroe's ball. Trojans with the throw-in on the far touchline. Headed back the other direction by Pioneer, but that controlled, moved over by Janes. Bringing ahead, Walker had it. That launched the other direction for Pioneer, but out the touchline. That'll again be another throw-in for Monroe. Pioneer heads it up high. Trying to get it over. Strickler over to Chuknowski. Chuknowski feeds that ahead to Kerbaway. Trying to steal that away and send it the other direction. His man, Pioneer, volleys it right back over to Zeppa taking it. Zeppa for Monroe. Sends it deep into the Pioneer zone, but out the far touchline. Templeton will do the duties and throw it in from the far side of the pitch. Templeton launches it ahead. That comes over, trying to get it. Kerbaway. Now Strickler on that far touchline. Pops it up high. That into the attacking third. Racing over, trying to get it is Lucas Anderson. Lucas Anderson has that tipped away and out the far touchline. That stays Pioneer ball with the throw-in on the far touchline. Over to Lucas Anderson looking for a cross. That grab by Merkel. Merkel has it in the 18. Now Merkel rolls it over to Diaz. Diaz comes up the near wing. Diaz flips it up high. That knocked down right at the top of the attacking third for Monroe as they move it back over. Picked up, launched by Swinky. That out the near touchline. That will be a throw in for Monroe. Walker with it. As Bryson comes in for Monroe. Or Lane, that brought into the near corner, and that'll go out the end line. That'll be a goal kick for Pioneer. Wilhelm has it, sets it on the 6. Wilkins comes in for Pioneer. Wilhelm lifts it up high in the air, headed back the other direction by Swinky. That ball down the far side of the pitch. Van Ryan trying to pull that away from Palmer in a battle down the far touchline. Templeton with the throw in. Templeton sends it, trying to get it over to Strickler. That knocked all the way back in by James. Put up high in the air. Headed up by Diaz. Again, another head by Monroe. Now Chuknowski gets into it, trying to pop it back. Wilkins moves it over on the far side. Jacobson sends it up high. Lucas Anderson has it tipped away from him. That goes out the far touchline. Templeton with the throw in. Now Jacobson comes off. Carrillo back over to Templeton. Templeton trying to feed it away. That knocked back into the Pioneer defensive third. Jacob gets it over to Wilhelm. Wilhelm over onto the near wing for Medina. Medina brings it up the near side of the pitch. That launched ahead over the center line. Now battling as that Strickler, who fires it all the way across the pitch, over onto the far wing. Templeton with it there. Templeton over to Lucas Anderson. Lucas Anderson gets it back to Jacob. Jacob continuing to battle on that far wing, bringing it ahead. Lucas Anderson, but they'll say it went out the far touchline. That'll be a throw-in for Monroe. As they get that over, James with the throw-in. Launched up high. That moved over. Templeton trying to get to Chuknowski. Chuknowski ahead. And over to Kerbaway. Kerbaway moves it back to Templeton. Now fed ahead to Kerbaway. Kerbaway gets it into the attacking third. Kerbaway launches it, trying to get over. Here comes Strickler. Strickler couldn't get everything on it. As the ball wouldn't settle down, he came down to turn on it. And the ball just took a bounce and made it tough on Strickler. Able to grab it is Merkel. Merkel kicks it up high in the air. Arcing kick. That comes down right at the center line. That's going to be a restart for the Trojans. 21 minutes, 30 seconds left to go before halftime. 0-0 is our score. As Dunn set to kick away the restart for Monroe. Dunn puts it into the far wing. That tip there. Lucas Anderson coming over to challenge. Lucas Anderson gets it ahead to Carrillo. Carrillo moving over to Kerbaway. Kerbaway over to Lucas Anderson. Lucas Anderson down the far wing. That knocked the other direction by Zeppa. Zeppa trying to battle. Now Wilkins gets it. Wilkins with a cross. And over to Strickler with a shot. And Merkel with the save. Strickler able to turn and get a little bit more on it, but Merkel had good positioning. Merkel again skies it high as Medina sends it back. And over to Carrillo. Carrillo down the far wing for Templeton. Templeton lifts it ahead down the far touchline. That goes out. Monroe with the throw-in. Grant comes in for Monroe. As Janes with the throw in. Trying to get it over to the center line. Templeton got his foot on it. That knocked over. Racing ahead, Carrillo dribbles through traffic. Knocked down. That goes out the far touchline. Should be off of Janes. As that's going to be a restart down on the 30 for Monroe. They launch it ahead. Pioneer able to head it down, controlling, moving over. Chuck, that was Strickler with it, got knocked away, but picked up by Wilhelm inside his 18. Wilhelm quickly throws it down the far side. Templeton with it. Templeton gets into the middle third. Templeton lofts it up. That headed over. Here comes Wilkins back behind the defense. Wilkins into the 18. Wilkins dribbles through. Shot and a score by Wilkins. Pioneer with the goal. As a good job, Wilkins got it, that made that extra move just to get the ball away from the defender and then put it just where Merkel couldn't get to it. Pioneer up 1-0 at 19-11. Walker again starts off the action for Monroe. And headed back, Pioneer controls. Strickler feeding it ahead. That got tipped, trying to get to Lucas Anderson. Headed back away by Janes. Down on that far side of the pitch. Templeton heads it. And will go out right in front of the Monroe bench. Pioneer with a quick throw in. That pop back over to Templeton. Templeton trying to feed ahead to Carrillo. That goes out, and that'll bounce over the fence. Templeton, and again, another throw in from the far touchline. Templeton racing ahead, now waits for his players to get in position. Templeton over to Lucas Anderson, back to Templeton. Templeton brings it towards the middle of the pitch, arcing it over, trying to get to Wilkins. That headed away. Wilkins has it. Wilkins, the lone goal scorer so far in the game, moves it back over to Templeton on the far wing. Templeton over to Carrillo, now battling that challenged and knocked away by Monroe as Zeff challenges it. That results in a restart for the Trojans as Diaz will have it just inside of his defensive third, but he'll kick it away. 17:50 left to go here in the first. 1-0, Pioneer with the lead. Monroe, and headed away, trying to control it down. There is Gallegos Jimenez. Back over by Gren with the cross. Pioneer intercepts. That over as Kerbaway trying to get to it. He was dispossessed. That sent all the way up to Palmer. Palmer with it down on the far touchline. That goes out. That will be a Pioneer throw-in. Templeton has it on that far touchline. Templeton from inside his defensive third. Again, there's some big, fluffy white clouds with some dark undersides here, but Walker in. Starosta in for Pioneer as well. There is a player down being attended to just on the Monroe side of the center line. Can't quite tell who it is, but the trainer and over there taking a look and working on him. We'll step away. We'll play a few messages from the MHSAA here at Hollway Field. It is Pioneer 1, Monroe 0.
Here are 5 more good reasons for multi-sport participation. Multi-sport athletes are more coachable. They have higher athletic ceilings. They become better talent in the long run. They have higher sports IQs. Their sports skills transfer, and they are better teammates. Multi-sport participation is cross-training for life. Learn more at the MHSAA website. A message from the Michigan High School Athletic Association, promoting the value and values of educational athletics.
It was Kerbaway who was helped off the pitch by a pair of teammates. Kerbaway not putting any pressure on, I think that's his right leg, as he gets put on the cart, and he will be attended to by the fantastic trainer over there. Hopefully he'll be on the mend quickly. Pioneer with the ball in their defensive third, ready to throw it in. That headed down by Monroe, controlled by Strickler. Strickler over to Jacobs. Jacob all the way over to Medina. Medina on the near wing. Gets it back over to Van Ryn. Van Ryn just outside of his own 18. Back over to Jacob on the far wing. Cross pitch pass. Here comes Medina trying to get it out of the defensive third. Fired ahead. Now that tipped. Sent over. Lucas Anderson trying to keep it, or excuse me, Starosta trying to keep it in the pitch. And it just goes out the near touchline. That'll be a throw-in for Monroe. Diaz has it on the near touchline. Diaz now lofts it up high. That headed by Chuknowski. Back over. Grabbing it, Strickler. Strickler races to the far side of the pitch, trying to feed it ahead as he was trying to get it over to Lucas Anderson, and just out of his reach, that grabbed by Merkel. Merkel, right on his own 18, puts it up. High arcing ball, knocked the other direction by Carrillo. Carrillo has it knocked the other direction by Monroe. There's a battle for it. Palmer feeds it down the near side of the pitch. That taken away, bringing it ahead. Here comes Medina. Medina trying to dribble through traffic, split a pair of defenders. Now gets it over to Starosta. Starosta has that knocked out the near touchline by Dunn. Dunn giving his team a little bit more time to come down and position themselves for this throw-in. Medina with the throw-in on the near touchline. Medina gets that back over to Wilkins. Wilkins, the lone goal scorer, launches it ahead. That chipped by Zeff down along the far side of the pitch. Here comes Adonis Anderson. Adonis Anderson with the cross, trying to get over to Lucas Anderson. That knocked away, trying to put it down. Still in the 18. And pulled back over now, grabbing it. Medina. Medina gets it back over to Carrillo. Carrillo has it knocked away. And it comes all the way back, but that will be a restart. A restart for Monroe. Well, the officials have a better view of it than I do. 14:36 left to go before halftime. 1-0 Pioneer with the lead. Diaz launches it down the field. That grab, Kaba moves it over onto the far wing. Here comes Lucas Anderson. He launches it ahead, trying to get it over to Wilkins. Wilkins has it. Wilkins trying to make a move into the 18. Wilkins trying to dribble away from pressure with a shot that goes just wide, a couple feet to the far side. Out the end line, that will be a goal kick. Diaz has the ball set on the edge of the 6. Rolled down the far wing. Down, chipped away by Swinky. Pioneer trying to knock it down. Swinky gets it again, but a whistle. That will be a Pioneer restart. As Jacob has it just inside of the touch line, over the center line. Jacob raises his hand. Jacob puts it up high. That into the 18, but grabbed by Merkel. Merkel, perfect positioning. Rolled over to Diaz. Diaz fires it forward. That taken down. Here comes Carrillo. Right back into the attacking third. Moved back over. Kaba with it. Kaba launches it back to the center line. Jacob with it there. Jacob brings it over just past the blockades. Now Carrillo bringing it down the middle of the pitch. That poked away from him. Monroe launches it the other direction. Headed back by Van Ryn right on the near touchline. Trying to bring it ahead is Medina. Medina over. Trying to feed it to Wilkins. That knocked out the near touchline. Medina with the throw-in on the near touchline. Medina getting that over. Starosta has it. Starosta trying to get across. Knocked away. Back over to Pressa. Moves it down into the middle third. Trying to pull that away was Gallegos Jimenez. Rivera sends it up high. That headed back into the 18 and goes wide. It's a couple feet to the far side as Seinfeld Chop trying to head it in and just Diaz has it right at the 6. 11 minutes, 35 seconds left to go here in the first half. Diaz raises his hands, lifts it down the pitch. That knocked down, comes right back over to Rivera. Rivera brings it into the attacking third. Rivera coming streaking down the near wing. Rivera with a cross, trying to get to it. And knocked away by Monroe. A good battle down there. Seinfeld Chop trying to get to it. Medina quickly, that moves back over to Carrillo. Carrillo with a cross, trying to get it back over as Seinfeld Chop. And just went wide to the far side. Caba in there as well, looking for that cross. Diaz has it set at the 6. Pioneer up 1-0. Just under 11 minutes left to go here in the first half. Diaz raises his hand. That one a little shorter, right to Rivera. Rivera has that poked away. Now Caba has it right in the middle third. Caba. And moved ahead. Here comes Rivera. Rivera has that knocked away by Pressa. And sent all the way down. Here comes Monroe over the center line. Now Caba takes it away for Pioneer. Caba gets it ahead. Starosta over on the far side to Strickler. Strickler with the cross into the 18. Caba was right there to kick it away, but Merkel grabbed it beforehand. Caba gives him a little wave saying, hey, I hope I didn't get your hand. And Merkel gets it over to Diaz. Diaz over to Zeppa. Zeppa coming down the near side of the pitch. Rivera again trying to start the Pioneer rush the other direction. Caba feeds it through. Seinfeld Chop can't quite get to it before Merkel has it. Merkel rolls it down over to Mann on the far side of the pitch. Mann feeds it ahead. Here comes James. Battle down the far touchline. As that will be a restart for Monroe. As Herringhausen set for the restart. Lifts both hands. Kicks it down as that's on the far touchline. Monroe controlling, sends it back up towards their midfield. But that went out, I believe, the far touchline, and that will be a Pioneer throw-in. Well, with the clouds, the lights are on here at Hollway Field, but again, it's a little bit more mild weather day than it has been in it so far. Coming ahead, here comes Medina. Medina trying to feed it over to Caba. Caba gets it over to Strickler. Strickler gets it over to Adonis Anderson. Adonis Anderson back over to Seinfeld Chop. Seinfeld Chop right at the top of the attacking third. Trying to get it over to Rivera. Rivera right on the near wing. Rivera looking for a cross. Rivera, as he was challenged and dispossessed. Now back over to Medina. Medina battling down there, working against Walker. There's a cross, and Merkel right there to grab it. Pioneer has kept Merkel busy. They have the lead 1-0. 8 minutes left to go before halftime. As that's going to be a whistle. I believe that's going to be a restart for Pioneer right just shy of the center line. Jacob has it there. Just to his left is Gallegos Jimenez. Now over to Medina on the near wing. Medina gets it over to Rivera. Rivera, nice little back kick trying to get it over to Medina. That knocked away, but Rivera challenged, battling right on the near touchline. That brought all the way back to Swing Key. Now down. Pioneer has it. Jacob right at the center line. Moves it back over to the center back. Now over to Medina. Medina down the near wing. Over to Kaba as that was knocked away. That will be a restart for Pioneer as Carrillo has it just inside of the attacking third. Carrillo raises both hands. Now puts it high into the 18. That tipped away as Merkel got his hands on it and booted away by James down the far touchline. Jacob retreats on his own side of midfield. And back over to Wilhelm. Wilhelm moves it over to Medina. Down on the near wing. Medina back to Wilhelm. Wilhelm just outside of his own 18. Puts it over to Jacob on the far side of the pitch. Jacob. Over to Van Ryan. Van Ryan just outside of the arc. Van Ryan back over to Jacob. Jacob sends it. That tipped down by Monroe, but pulled. Here comes Carrillo. Carrillo over to Medina. Medina just inside the near touchline. Fires it ahead. Starosta gets it over to Rivera. Rivera with two players. Cuts between them. Rivera just outside the 18. That knocked down. Trying to get it over to Adonis Anderson. And that wisely poked away down there by Mann. Adonis Anderson has it. Gets it over to Strickler. Strickler down on that far wing. Strickler gets it over Starosta, and that is a offsides call that will go back over to Monroe. 5 minutes, 30 seconds left to go before the half. 1-0 Pioneer with the lead. That was a goal by Wilkins. Booted away by Monroe. That out the far touchline. That will stay Monroe with the throw-in. Tyler Wilkins comes back in. That's Mann with the throw-in. Mann gets it ahead to Bryson. Bryson. Again, another throw-in for Monroe. Kaba trying to knock it away. Kaba works through traffic. Kaba over, trying to get it over to Rivera. It was a good defensive play by Diaz. Now a feed to Rivera, and he couldn't quite get to it. That will result in a goal kick. Diaz a little slow to move back, so they will let Zeppa kick it away from the 6. Zeppa puts it high in the air. That tipped down there by Walker. Down on the near touchline. Here comes Carrillo. Carrillo trying to get it over to Kaba. That pulled away, coming down. Here comes Gallegos Jimenez. Knocked away by Wilkins, but a whistle. .357 left to go before halftime. That's going to be a restart. As Dunn went down and is slow to get up, limping a little bit. We hope he's all right. Now Diaz will take the restart just on the Monroe side of the center line. 3 minutes, 33 seconds left to go. 1-0 Pioneer with the lead. Diaz. That headed by Kaba. Back over, trying to pull it the other direction is Bryson. Pioneer with it down the far side of the pitch. Trying to get it over to Kaba, but that out the far touchline. That was launched ahead by Strickler. With the throw in is James. James for Monroe throws it. That popped up high right towards the center line. Bought away. Here comes Pioneer as Seinfeld Chop feeds it down the field. And Diaz able to get it right over to Merkel. Merkel boots it away. That headed back right at midfield, all the way back down. Adonis Anderson on the far side of the pitch for Pioneer. Gets it back over to Wilhelm. Now Jacob has it on that far wing. Jacob Brings it ahead right in front of him. Gallegos Jimenez for Monroe. 2 players right in front. That moved over to Adonis Anderson. Adonis Anderson in a battle trying to work against Herringhausen. That goes out. Strickler with it. Strickler moves it back. And here comes Van Ryan. Van Ryan feeds it ahead to Rivera. Rivera on the near side of the pitch. Diaz and Rivera challenged. That goes out. Monroe with the throw-in. 2 minutes left to go in the half. Walker has it down the near side of the pitch. Fed in, and that will go out the near touchline. That's going to stay Monroe ball. As Diaz will throw it in. And headed back away by Pioneer. Racing back to get it is Rivera. Rivera working against Swinky. Swinky trying to make his way through traffic. As that's knocked down by Wilkins. Now Van Ryan gets it back over to Wilkins. Wilkins feeds it over. Now launched way down the pitch. Excellent job by Wilhelm. And it comes right back to Jacob on the Pioneer defensive side. Ahead to Starosta. Trying to get to Starosta. That goes out the far touchline before he can get to it. 1 minute, 5 seconds left to go before half. That's stolen away by Pioneer, but a whistle. That will be a restart for Monroe as they'll have it just inside on the Pioneer side of midfield. And it's going to be Pressa with it. Pressa calling out signals. Getting everyone where he wants it. Kind of an orangish light coming down on Hollway Field now, filtering through the clouds. High in the air, knocked down by Carrillo. And over, and that'll go out the end line. That will result in a corner for Monroe. It looks like Dunn is going to be the one to... Yep, that's Dunn taking the corner. Puts it up high, trying to get it Wilkins. Fed down the near side by Kaba. That will go out the near touchline. 2 seconds, 1 second. And that will be halftime. We will step away as Pioneer has the 1-0 lead on Monroe. We'll play a few messages from the MHSA, then we will return with your second half action.
Here are 5 more good reasons for multi-sport participation. Multi-sport athletes are more coachable. They have higher athletic ceilings. They become better talent in the long run. They have higher sports IQs. Their sports skills transfer, and they are better teammates. Multi-sport participation is cross-training for life. Learn more at the MHSAA website. A message from the Michigan High School Athletic Association, promoting the value and values of educational athletics. Here are 5 good reasons for high school multi-sport participation. Fewer overuse injuries, less opportunity for emotional burnout, exposure to different kids and coaches, exposure to different roles, and learning to compete better. Being a multi-sport participant can help a kid become a more well-rounded person. Multi-sport participation is cross-training for life. Learn more at the MHSAA website. A message from the Michigan High School Athletic Association, promoting the value and values of educational athletics.
Where can you find good information on all kinds of topics related to the well-being of our student athletes? Check out the health and safety page of the MHSAA website. Learn about multi-sport participation, heat and hydration, cardiovascular resources, as well as insurance benefits available for our students. It's all on the health and safety page of MHSAA.com. A message from the Michigan High School Athletic Association, promoting the value and values of educational athletics.
The love of the game draws us to sports, as players, coaches, spectators, and officials. For officials, it's a way to stay in the game they once played, to feel the thrill of putting on the uniform, stepping out of the playing surface, hustling to make the call, and building the relationships which can only be built in sports. If you still have that love for the game, we always need new officials. Register now at MHSAA.com. A message from the Michigan High School Athletic Association, promoting the value and values of educational athletics.
Sportsmanship has never been more important between the lines in athletics and outside those lines in our communities. To listen, to respect, to understand, to practice common decency, to have competition without contentiousness. Sportsmanlike qualities are essential components of life itself. Let's all work together to not only be good sports, but good people. A message from the Michigan High School Athletic Association, promoting the value and values of educational athletics. Have we gotten to the point where at some high school game that an official has finally had enough from coaches, players, and adults, pulls off the whistle, and offers it to you? Let's hope not. There's no way you could do a better job. It's on everyone to promote good sportsmanship. So before you blurt something out about that next close call, consider this. Without the officials, nobody wins. A message from the Michigan High School Athletic Association, promoting the value and values of educational athletics. Promoting the value and values.
Nearly 2,000 of the state's top student athletes.
We'll get back to that. Let's run through some of the scores from the SEC Red, or the SEC in general, from last week. Taking a look, it goes back to Monday. It was Pinckney defeating Jackson 4-0, and Chelsea defeating Adrian 2-0. That game was suspended. The result of it will be played on the 14th. Then on Tuesday, the 30th, it was Bedford and Monroe ending in a 2-2 draw. It was Saline beating Pioneers 6-4. It was a 2-2 draw between Huron and Dexter. And Skyline beat Lincoln 3-0. Over on Wednesday, the 31st, it was Tecumseh 3-1 over Jackson. Chelsea 3-0 over Ypsilanti, and it was Pinckney 8-0 over Adrian. And then finally on the first, Thursday, it was Huron 2, Skyline 1. Saline beat Bedford 7-0. It was Pioneer 1-0 over Lincoln. And Monroe tied Dexter 2-2 with the 2-2 draw. Let's get back and listen to a few more messages from the MHSA, and we will have your second half coming right up.
Nearly 2,000 of the state's top student athletes will be recognized for excelling academically and in school activities through the MHSAA's Scholar Athlete Award, underwritten by Farm Bureau Insurance. The applicants will be in the running for a total of 32 $1,000 college scholarships. Application materials are available exclusively online through the MHSAA website. A message from the Michigan High School Athletic Association, promoting the value and values of educational athletics.
Health concerns in high school sports go beyond physical injuries. The mental well-being of our young people is a hotter topic than ever before. The Michigan High School Athletic Association website has resources to help adults and students recognize potential problems and deal with them in a positive way. You can learn more about these mental health resources on the Health and Safety page of the MHSAA website. A message from the MHSAA promoting the value and values of educational athletics. Can you go anywhere and find an endeavor in society where we've come to accept and tolerate an adult, and even kids, treating another adult the way we allow spectators, coaches, and players to treat a high school game official? Can you? No one has the right to abuse game officials. So before you blurt something out about that next close call, consider this. Without the officials, nobody wins. A message from the Michigan High School Athletic Association, promoting the value and values of educational athletics.
So we'll pause the music there as clock counting down, 35 seconds left here in halftime. Pioneer will get things started off in the second half. Starosta is dribbling the ball right on the block ace, getting ready to go. As Chuknowski is to his right. As now 40 minutes up on the clock. 1-0 Pioneer with the lead. Starosta gets it back over. Lucas Anderson over onto the near wing for Templeton. Templeton launches it back over to Jacob. Jacob feeding it ahead. That grab down on the far wing by Jacobson. Moved and chipped over. Now Starosta trying to get it back over to Jacobson. Starosta feeding it ahead. That knocked away as Kerfkins trying to get it over on the far touchline and keep it in. Kerfkins makes a move looking for a cross. Kerfkins just outside. The 18 feeds that back over. That's stolen away, coming the other direction. It's Swinky. Swinky blasts it all the way ahead. Here comes Gallegos Jimenez. That knocked away, fed over onto the near side of the pitch. Picked up by Jacob. Jacob. Now ahead to Lucas Anderson. Lucas Anderson gets that back over to Jacobson. Jacobson over to Chuknowski. Chuknowski just shy of midfield. Chuknowski gets that back over to Van Ryan. Van Ryan ahead to Jacobson. Jacobson right at the center line. That will be a restart for Pioneer. That ball set just on the Pioneer side of the center line. Stolen away is that ball trying to get it over to Lucas Anderson. Stolen away. Gallegos Jimenez has it. Then knocked away by Jacob. Now Pioneer starts their counterattack. Over to Starosta. He's dispossessed. Back over to Lucas Anderson. Lucas Anderson feeds it to Jacob. Jacob just on the edge of the middle third. Lucas Anderson gets it ahead to Jacobson. Jacobson feeds it into the attacking third as here comes Kerfkins. Kerfkins with a shot and a save by Merkel. Merkel dove to the ground to get a stop as we approach the 38-minute mark, counting down here in the second half. And tipped ahead, trying to control it. Moved all the way over by Palmer. Now fired back, trying to get is Pressa. Pioneer bringing it ahead into the attacking third. That gets over to Kerfkins, and he just lost his footing. Couldn't stop. Over to Chuknowski. Chuknowski with the defender right in front of him. He's working against man. Move back over to Templeton. Templeton comes towards the center of the pitch. That deflected back. Lucas Anderson trying to pull that away from Swinky. And launched back to the Monroe defensive bearing and then fired ahead. That will go out the far touchline. Palmer couldn't quite get to it in time. That'll be a throw-in for Pioneer. Pioneer going from left to right here in the second half. Lucas Anderson sends it back over. That launched up high by Zeppa, the other direction. Lucas Anderson heading it, trying to get it over to Templeton. Jacob picks it up before it can get there. Moving it back over to Lucas Anderson. Lucas Anderson trying to feed it to traffic. Starosta gets it over. That launched into the 18, and that will go out the end line. That will be a goal kick. As Diaz back to kick it away from the 6. Diaz lifts it. That headed back by Templeton, down and out the near touchline. As Kerfkins trying to get to a quick throw in for Monroe. As Chuknowski trying to get it over, controlled by Dunn. Dunn trying to dribble around a trio of Pioneer players. That sent ahead and out the near touchline. And Templeton with the throw-in. Templeton trying to get it over to Starosta. Starosta pulled back over by Zeppa. Zeppa over to Merkel, who launches it down the pitch. Templeton trying to pull that away, fired by Swinky all the way down, trying to get it over to Walker. Walker racing down the far touchline. Walker with the cross. That goes out the end line. That will be a goal kick for Pioneer. That, by the way, looks like that's going to be a corner. By the way, it does look like Queen, excuse me. Done for the corner. I believe that's Queen actually in goal now for Pioneer. See if I can find that. As that popped up high, headed back over. That will go just out. And indeed, it is number 0 playing keeper for Pioneer now, so that is Queen. Queen has it set on the 6. As he urges his players to get further down the pitch. Queen fires a live drying shot over to Starosta. Starosta trying to get it ahead. He's trying to get it over to Fiore, and that knocked away. Palmer had it on that far side of the pitch, and that went out. That'll be a restart for Pioneer. Van Ryn over to Jacob. Jacob lifts it. As here comes Fiore. Fiore, and knocked away as Zeffa, again, a good defensive play. Coming down on the far wing, Wilkins, that goes out the far touchline. Pioneer, Wilkins with the throw in, that over on that far touchline, trying to get it over to Lucas Anderson. That pull back. Here comes Jacob. Jacob over to Lucas Anderson on the far touchline. Couldn't quite keep it from going out. That will be a throw in for Monroe. 1-0 Pioneer with the lead. The goal midway through the first half. We are now 33 minutes and 20 seconds away from full time. Pioneer racing over as Kerfkins has it. Kerfkins spins with it, pulling it away, trying to drive it further into the pitch. Kerfkins with a cross, and Starosta not quite able to get over to it as that will go out. Diaz will kick it away from the 6. Diaz gets back, standing right by the woodwork, holds his arm up, lifts it all the way down, that headed back by Chuknowski. Kerfkin's trying to get to it. Monroe had it, that popped up high. That'll be a restart for Monroe. As that ball will be set. Diaz again to launch it down the field on the restart. Diaz raises his hand. Diaz spins it down towards the far side of the pitch. Headed up over there by Palmer. Trying to control, goes, and will be out the far. No, Pioneer keeping it from going out the far touchline. Sending it all the way down the pitch. And rocketed the other direction by Zeffa. Out the near touchline. Templeton with the throw-in. Templeton. Head, Starosta. Trying to work against Mann's challenge. Over to Wilkins. Wilkins, the lone goal scorer, gets over to Starosta. Back over to Wilkins. Wilkins with a shot that goes wide a couple feet to the near side. That is going to be a corner for Pioneer. As that looks like that's going to be Chuknowski taking the corner. That grabbed by Merkel. Merkel kicks it out of the 18. High arcing ball that headed back. Jacob has it on his own side of the center line. Moves it over on the far side of the pitch. That now brought quickly ahead. Starosta getting it over to Fiore. Fiore moves it over to Jacobson. Jacobson coming down the far wing. Jacobson. That over to Lucas Anderson. Lucas Anderson into the 18. That goes just wide to the near side, trying to keep it in. Valiant attempt down there by Pioneer, but just not quite able to keep that ball in bounds. And Diaz to kick it away. Headed back the other direction by Chuknowski. Here comes Kerfkins down the near side of the pitch on the near wing. Kerfkins now feeds it into the near corner. Back over to Chuknowski. Chuknowski trying to get some room for a cross. That knocked down. Pulled away. And that is fired ahead by Zepha. All the way down the near touchline. That goes out. As that will be a throw-in by Monroe. Palmer knocks it down. That's stolen away by Pioneer as Chuknowski gets it back over to Jacob. Jacob down over on the far wing. Here comes Van Ryn. Van Ryn gets it out of his own defensive third. Van Ryn moves it down the far side of the pitch. Now racing ahead. Here comes Pioneer as coming over for a cross is Wilkins with a shot. And able to get his foot in the way was Merkel. That'll be a corner as Wilkins has it for the corner over there. "28 minutes, 40 seconds left to go here in the second half. 1-0. Pioneer would love to get another goal to ease up some of the pressure down on the far touchline. Wilkins again getting it in over to Fiore. Fiore back over to Wilkins. Wilkins looking for a cross surrounded by a trio of Monroe players. And back over to Jacobson. Now deflects over on the near side. Fired right back in by Templeton. Now grab. Here comes Jacobson. Jacobson trying to lift it into the 18. Chuknowski battling. Kerfkins trying to pull that away. Kerfkins challenges. That brought back. Here comes Monroe. And over on the near wing, bringing it ahead is Swinky. Swinky launches it high. Palmer trying to get to it. That shot goes wide just by a foot to the far side. Offsides ruled all the way back just inside of the defensive third. Van Ryn with the restart. Over to Jacob. Jacob brings it ahead. Jacob trying to get it over. Chuknowski feeding it ahead. Fiore over to Strickler. Now into the far corner for Wilkins. Wilkins, he's challenged over there. Knocked away. Dispossessed down there. I believe that was Gren. Templeton trying to peel that away. Now Jacobson. Back over to Van Ryn. Van Ryn over to Jacob on the near wing. Jacob working against Gallegos Jimenez. Up the far wing. Now Fiore. Hits it over. Wilkins challenges. Steals that away. Fiore dribbling through traffic. Fiore gets it over to Kerfkins. Kerfkins being challenged over there. Kerfkins battling versus man. And over onto the near wing and out. That will be a throw-in by Monroe. 26 minutes and 20 seconds left to go here in the second half. That pulled down by Strickler. Strickler comes towards the center of the pitch. All the way back. Now bringing it ahead. That fired ahead by Wilkins. Wilkins over to Strickler. Strickler crosses it over onto the near side. Lucas Anderson gets it back to Templeton. Templeton back over to Lucas Anderson. Lucas Anderson, that knocked away, controlled. Monroe puts it on the near side of the pitch. That challenge by Templeton, he has it. Back ahead to Lucas Anderson. Lucas Anderson. That grabbed, racing over is Strickler. Back over to Chuknowski. Chuknowski moves it now, coming in with it. Is trying to get it over is Lucas Anderson. Lucas Anderson feeds it. Here comes Strickler. That slide tackled away, but Lucas Anderson gets it on the cross shot. That goes just wide. Oh, Jacobson with a beautiful stroke, but just couldn't quite put it in as that went wide by a foot to the far side. That will be kicked away. Diaz again to launch it from the 6 as we approach the 25-minute mark. 1-0 Pioneer. Continues with the lead. Monroe trying to start the rush. That pulled back away. Pioneer right at the center line. As that pulled and fired back the other direction by Dunn. Here comes Monroe. Man brings it ahead, trying to feed it into the far corner. As that is offsides called. Pioneer with the restart. As they'll have it about 10 yards inside of their own defensive third. Over to Lucas Anderson. Lucas Anderson. Back to Jacob. Jacob lifts it ahead. Strickler trying to get to it, but that headed away by the Trojans. Brought back over. And coming down with it, Jacob. Jacob lifts it and stays in. Nope, out. Kerfkins trying to keep it inside on the field of play, but not quite able to. As Mann gets it over to Dunn. Dunn, cross. Here comes Fiore, stealing it away. Fiore puts it over on the far wing, racing ahead with it. Jacobson, as that shot goes wide. Now we'll go out the end line. That will be a corner for Pioneer. As Kerfkins looks like he goes to grab the ball. Kerfkins gets it set for this set piece. Pioneer looking that up high. That ball comes over onto the far side of the pitch. That will go out as a big challenge out there. And that will result in a goal kick. 23 minutes left to go here in the second half. 1-0, Pioneer with the lead. Monroe controls back in their own defensive third. That's hit up high. Templeton heads it the other direction. Monroe chips the ball, moving it over onto the near side. Trying to get it over to James. Templeton with it for Pioneer. Templeton feeds it ahead. Here comes Jacobson. Jacobson slows it up, looking for a cross. That ball just bounced not the way they were expecting it to. Swinke fires it all the way down. Van Ryn trying to knock it down. Van Ryn heading it again. Battling down there. Palmer was trying to pull it away. As Chuknowski feeds it over onto the far side of the pitch. That popped up. Strickler trying to get to it. Now Fiore on that far touchline. That will go out. That will be a throw-in for Pioneer. As it looks like that's Chuknowski to throw it in. Chuknowski into the far corner as Strickler trying to get to it. That got knocked out. So corner for Pioneer. As Chuknowski goes over to take the corner. Chuknowski raises both hands, puts it into the 18. That headed in by Strickler, and that's a goal by Strickler at 21-21. Strickler headed it in. Chuknowski, I believe, gets the assist on that, and it's 2-0. Pioneer with the lead as they have that insurance goal. Looks like Palmer set to start things away for Monroe. Paroff now in, so we've actually got to see all three goalkeepers. Wilhelm started the game at some point in time. I think at halftime Queen came in. Now Paroff has it. That's sent high down the near side of the pitch. Trying to fire it ahead was man that went out. The near touchline, Templeton. Back over to Jacob. Jacob brings it ahead. Jacob trying to feed it away. And lifted back, trying to control his swing key. Swing key. Moving it over. Here comes Palmer. Palmer launches it high. That goes wide. A couple feet to the far side. That is going to be a corner for Monroe. Trying to see. I just can't get. I believe that's done over there on the corner. There's a low cross as Seinfeld Chop feeds it upfield. Control coming down by Walker. Now launched. Pioneer feeds it ahead. Trying to get to it. Diaz trying to pull it away. Here comes Chuknowski. Chuknowski has it on the far side of the pitch. Chuknowski, Diaz challenges. Diaz sends that down the pitch. Checking it. There's Pioneer with a shot and a score! A beautiful goal by Carrillo. He just put it perfectly placed as Merkel did his best, but just a beautifully hit ball, and that finds its way in. .217 Pioneer breaks it open, making it 3-0. Well, Merkel has been very good all day long, but that was a ball that its placement was just outstanding. High up in the air over to the near side. Zeppa trying to get to it. Zeppa battling Templeton. Templeton will have the restart just inside the near touchline on that near wing. Now that'll be Jacob who will restart it. Jacob had headed back by Monroe over to Swinky. Swinky lifts it high over on the far side of the pitch. Van Ryan trying to get to it. Over there, Walker looking for a cross. That goes out the end line. That is going to be a corner for Monroe. Dunn goes over to take the corner for Monroe. As Dunn has it set for the Monroe corner. Substitutions, many of them coming in for fresh legs for Pioneer. High in the air, headed back. That brought away. Fed ahead. Good job pulling it out by Kaba. Now down the near side of the pitch. Kaba has it. Kaba comes into the attacking third. Kaba throwing it all the way over onto the far side of the pitch. As Moore trying to get to it. Moore on the far touchline. Moore back there as that will go out as he was back there working against Walker. Walker with a good challenge. That is going to be a corner for Pioneer as Carrillo is going to take the corner. Carrillo high in the air, that headed, but comes over on the near side of the pitch. Rivera coming over looking for a cross. Rivera puts it up high, and that deflected, I believe, off the field goal post. That will be a goal kick for Monroe. 3-0, Pioneer with the lead. 17:50 left to go here in the second. Diaz moves it over to James. James sends it up. Pioneer steals it away. Here comes Kaba. Kaba trying to put it into the near corner. Seinfeld Chop holding it into the near corner. Seinfeld Chop dribbles to his right. Seinfeld Chop trying to get room. And it's pulled away from him. Good defensive play. There's Carrillo with a shot. That got deflected away. Now kicked away. A whistle. Merkel down in the 18. Merkel is writhing on the ground. Cobb over there trying to check and see if he's all right. $17-13 left to go here in the second. Merkel has played his guts out, but he is currently on the ground. A trainer comes over to take a look at him. We'll step away for a moment for a few messages from the MHSAA. Here it's 3-0 Pioneer with the lead with 17-13 left to go.
Here are 5 good reasons for high school multi-sport participation. Fewer overuse injuries, less opportunity for emotional burnout, exposure to different kids and coaches, exposure to different roles, and learning to compete better. Being a multi-sport participant can help a kid become a more well-rounded person. Multi-sport participation is cross-training for life. Learn more at the MHSAA website. A message from the Michigan High School Athletic Association promoting the value and values of educational athletics.
Where can you find good information on all kinds of topics related to the well-being of our student athletes? Check out the health and safety page of the MHSAA website. Learn about multi-sport participation, heat and hydration, cardiovascular resources, as well as insurance benefits available for our students. It's all on the health and safety page of MHSAA.com. A message from the Michigan High School Athletic Association promoting the value and values of educational athletics.
As Merkel coming off the field, again, I am absolutely no doctor, but it looked like they were trying to stretch out his leg. Hopefully it's a cramp. Now, Merkel was the only goalkeeper who was on the roster, but looks like they have someone else coming in. So I do not have a number for the new keeper for Monroe. It looks like maybe it's Braden now in for the keeper. As that is going to be a restart for Pioneer just inside the attacking third. So Merkel's played a great game, but now you have the backup come on and you have a restart deep in Monroe territory. Jacob puts the ball, chips it in the air, that headed back, trying to get it over, diving, and a save by the Monroe keeper. As that bounces down the far touchline. Trying to hold it in his Gren. Pioneer trying to start the rush the other direction. Here comes Monroe, moving it over to Diaz. Diaz gets it back. That launched all the way down the near side of the pitch. Goes out the near touchline. Trying to feed it ahead to Bryson. As again, battle for it. Adonis Anderson trying to feed it ahead, trying to get it over to Caba, but that knocked away by Diaz. The ball down now. Here comes Dunn. Dunn gets it. That popped up high in the air by Bryson. And the ball comes back out the near touchline, just inside of the center line. Dunn with it back for Monroe. Gets it back to his defense as that's Pressa putting it down the far side of the pitch. And will be Pioneer ball on the throw-in. That on the far touchline. 15:25 left to go here in the second. 3-0. Pioneer with the lead on Monroe, trying to get 3 big points here in the SEC Red. As 3 points will get them tied for second place with Huron, depending on obviously what happens with Huron in action today. Controlled, moved back by Swinkie. Swinkie gets it ahead. That move by Dunn. Dunn Puts it all the way back, knocked away by Moore. Done with the throw-in. That headed up high by Zeppa. That will result in a Pioneer throw-in. As Moore feeds it down, trying to pull it away. Coming down the far side, I believe that's Strickler with it. Coming over, shot, and a goal for Pioneer. As that was indeed Strickler with the goal. He has a brace. He had a brace in the game versus Dexter as well. Strickler has a brace here. And at 14-24. As Monroe really put a lot of pressure trying to press the play deep in Pioneer territory. But once Pioneer broke that, they had a good rush coming down. And with the backup keeper in for Monroe, Pioneer has been able to push their lead out to 4-0. Dunn dribbles to his right, avoiding pressure by Strickler. Now launches it down the far wing. Pioneer trying to lift it the other direction. Kaba trying to feed it through traffic. Now there's Starosta. Starosta puts it down on the far wing. Still racing over with it. And stopped on that far wing, trying to bring it back over as a cross. As that ball comes over, and Adonis Sanderson cleans it up and fires it in. As the crossover, the keeper came over to get to it, and it flipped over, and Adonis Anderson found himself in a beautiful position and took a deep breath and fired it in, not wasting the opportunity. Fantastic goal. It's now 5-0. And not only is Monroe pushing, but they are missing Merkel right now in the 18. Zeppa for Monroe moves it back over. 13:54 left to go here in the second. Pioneer 5-0 as they've had an offensive explosion here in the second half. That all started with about 21 minutes, 21 seconds left to go in the second. They have scored 3 goals between then and now. So little under 8 minutes. Pioneer has had an offensive explosion. That volleyed back. Monroe heads it back towards the center line. Picked up, coming down, Seinfeld chop. Dribbling his way in. Dunn pulls it away. Seinfeld chop trying to go through traffic. Seinfeld chop still working through the challenge. Now that comes back over. Here comes Monroe as Swinky brings it down the field. Swinky dribbles to his left, trying to work his way through, trying to get past Van Ryan. Coming all the way down, that's centered over, and that will go out the end line. That is going to be a corner as Dunn comes over to take the corner. That high up comes down the end line and out. That should be a goal kick for Pioneer. 12 minutes, 30 seconds left to go here in the second. The ball over. Lucas Anderson over to Kaba. Kaba gets it ahead. Now here comes Rivera. Rivera turned on the ball. Rivera moving it. Rivera goes down, whistle, and it looks like that's going to be a restart for Pioneer. Just inside the far touchline. About 5 yards inside midfield, over on the Monroe side of midfield. That's fed ahead. Kaba gets it over to Jacobson. Jacobson with a shot. That's saved by the Monroe keeper. Excellent job by the Monroe backup keeper to grab that. Hold on to it. Fired over. Pressa with it. Pressa gets it down. Adonis Anderson, the last goal scorer for Pioneer, brings it down. That moved ahead. Into the near corner it goes. Racing over to get it is Seinfeld Chop. Seinfeld Chop, that went off of Pressa. That will be a corner for Pioneer. Seinfeld Chop gets it into the near corner. Seinfeld Chop raises both hands. Now high up. Puts it on the far side of the pitch and a shot that just goes wide. That'll be a goal kick. I believe that was Rivera who took a beautiful chance from the far wing. Five 0 Pioneer with the lead. Pressa to kick it away for Monroe. And knocked down by Jacobson, coming down the far wing. Rivera trying to get to it. Pulled down, man now in for Monroe. That ball back over, controlled. Over to Carrillo, now knocked away. Krifkin's trying to get to it. Carrillo sets it up for Adonis Anderson. Back to Carrillo. Carrillo. That pass taken over, intercepted. Good job by Swingkey. Pioneer brings it right back, though, as Medina over to Adonis Anderson, back over to Medina. Now Carrillo feeds it ahead, and over to Seinfeld Chop. Seinfeld Chop over to Jacobson. Jacobson over on the far wing. Now Rivera trying to make his way through traffic. Gets it over. That put back into the far corner. That up and off the crossbar. As Seinfeld Chop was right there, fired it up, and that knocked off of the crossbar. Good chance. That will be kicked away from the 6. Now they get that moved back to the 6 to kick it away. 9 minutes left to go here in the second. 5-0, Pioneer with the lead. As Adonis Anderson gets it back over, now racing ahead, Carrillo. Carrillo feeding it over to Seinfeld Chop. That knocked away, coming down the far side of the pitch. That'll go out the far touchline. That's going to be Pioneer with the throw-in. Cabo with it. Cabo over to Carrillo. Carrillo feeds it over to Adonis Anderson, coming down the near wing. Adonis Anderson trying to get it ahead. That taken away. Good defensive play by James. Kaba knocking that down. Now here comes Monroe. Battle for it. That will be a restart. As Medina racing back over to try and defend the ball, ended up getting tangled up and went down. Now Kaba will kick that away. Kaba. As that's all the way back on the near touchline, trying to keep it in. That goes out. Fiore. That is actually going to be Monroe with the throw in. Fiore was... That'll actually be a restart for Monroe. Dunn set to kick it away on the restart. Dunn lifts it downfield. That knocked down. Jacobson moving it over. Coming down with it, Rivera. Rivera feeds it over to Adonis Anderson down the near side of the pitch. Adonis Anderson into the attacking third. Gets it over to Kerfkins. Kerfkins into the near corner. Kerfkins trying to find a cross. Kerfkins puts it up high in the air. That goes just to the far side of the 18. That'll go out. That is going to end up being a Pioneer corner. As Carrillo will take the corner. 6:20 left to go, 5-0. Pioneer with the lead. Carrillo. High in the air, goes to the far side of the 18 as Kaba trying to get it over to Kerfkins. That knocked down. Really good defensive play back there by Monroe. Trying to get a number as that pulled all the way back. Picking up is Paroff. As that was Mann with the excellent playback on the defensive side. Here comes Kaba for Pioneer over the center line. Kaba gets it back, trying to find it over to Starosta. Starosta has that dispossessed. Swing key. Swing key trying to keep it. That's knocked out. Knocked away. Kaba with the throw-in. Kaba, oh, now they'll whistle. Adonis Anderson comes in, throws it back over to Kaba. Kaba gets it over to Starosta. Starosta feeding it all the way down. That tipped off down the far side of the pitch. Trying to hold it in as Moore with this cross. Over to Seinfeld. Chop with a shot. And off the side of the woodwork. Again, another good job by the backup keeper. He gets a couple hands from his defense. Moore for the corner. So Moore will take the corner for Pioneer and from the far corner. 4 minutes, 35 seconds left to go. Moore lifts his hands, puts it up. Kaba trying to get to it, and looking for a head, and he had an open net in front of him, and it just came off a little far to the right for him. That is going to be a corner here in the near corner for Pioneer. That's Seinfeld chop with it as we approach the 4-minute mark. Seinfeld chop, raises both hands, lifts it up high. That deflected back. Good job back there by Harrington Housen. Pioneers still with it down on the far side of the pitch. Putting it in. Shoot and a score as that was Kerfkins with the goal. Kerfkins has found himself in some good positions, and he was able to do an excellent job and finish for Pioneer. And at 3:43, that makes it 6-0 Pioneer. As the offensive explosion really happened with 21 seconds left to go. It was a one-goal game throughout most of the first half and a good portion of the second half, but that last quarter of the game, Pioneer has really found their offense and been able to make substitutions and really push Monroe physically. Medina gets it over. Now Kaba back over to Jacobson. Jacobson gets it back over to Paroff. Paroff moves it over down the far wing for Pioneer. Back over. Starosta has it. Shy of the center line. Brought back. Rivera battling as he's trying to get away from Lieto. Starosta puts it all the way into the far corner. Here comes Seinfeld chop with the cross. That comes back over. Starosta with it. Dribbles to his left. Shoots. And a diving save by the Monroe backup keeper. Fantastic save. 2:36 left to go. That back over. Medina trying to get to it. Now Kaba flips it over to Adonis Anderson. Adonis Anderson moves ahead to Jacobson. Jacobson all the way across over to Moore. Moore ahead. Back over to Jacobson. That brought back over. Now Monroe sends it all the way down. Kaba picks it up in his defensive third, trying to avoid Diaz. Kaba turns on it, goes the other direction. That deflects. Moore moves it back over to Kaba. Kaba feeds it over to Kerfkins, the last goal scorer. Kerfkins trying to pull it away. That grab by Swimkey. Swimkey sends it all the way back. That picked up by Paroff. Paroff throws it down the near side. 1 minute, 45 seconds left to go. Swinky shot. As that's great. Grabbed by Paroff. Paroff picks it up now. Diaz was right in front of him. All the way back. Starosta trying to get to it. Now Kerfkins has it. Over center. Kerfkins feeding it ahead. Rivera trying to get to it. That grabbed by the keeper for Monroe. And we don't have a number on that goalkeeper shirt there for that particular gentleman. Kaba heads it twice. Now back over to Wilkins. 1 minute left. 6-0. Pioneer with the lead. That ball brought ahead by Jacobson. Now Kerfkins dribbles through traffic coming down the far wing. Gets it back over to Starosta. Starosta with the launch. Save there. Diving on it. Again, good job by the Monroe keeper. 40 seconds left to go. 6-0. Pioneer with the lead. And again, launched up high. Moore has it on the far touchline. Under 30 seconds left to go. Moore battling on that far touchline. Monroe trying to come away with it. Monroe sets it back. As Lieto trying to fire it ahead. 8 seconds left to go. Monroe trying to get one last opportunity as they launch it up high. And that will do it. Pioneer wins the game by a score of 6-0. So fantastic game by Pioneer. Again, Pioneer's next game will be on the road. That will be at Bedford on the 8th at 7 p.m. We will return on Friday for Pioneer Varsity Football versus Ann Arbor Huron. Always exciting to see those two teams play. And the first home football game of the season, that will be at 7 p.m. We would love to see you there. Everyone, we'd love to see folks come in, cheer on the teams. For my camera person, Christina Wiseman, my name is Mark Wiseman. Thank you very much, and have a fantastic rest of the evening.